I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. Again, I apologize for my voice, a little bit under the weather. But this is a paid request for Scott, who wanted my thoughts on the 2005 film Red Eye. Now, for those who are interested, you send in requests either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. It'll be for reviews, re-reviews, movie topics in general, reaction, whatever. But Red Eye is one of those films that I saw and wasn't that impressed with it when I saw it. I think because I'm like, wow, this is a very short film, and you got Wes Craven, who I very much miss. I would say he's one of my favorite directors because I love Shocker, Serpent and the Rainbow, People on the Stairs, Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I'm on some other Scream. Now this film, it's a pretty simple story. Rachel McAdams is this hotel manager taking the red-eye flight to Florida. Before she gets on the plane, she meets up with Cillian Murphy, who is in 28 Days Later. He played Scarecrow in the Christopher Nolan films. And he's charming at first, but then when they take off on the plane, they're sitting next to each other. And he pretty much says to her face he deals with high-profile assassinations. And things take a change to the worse, where he'll headbutt her, or he'll know she's talking with no phone service. You have this little attack. Pretty much these things happen because Cillian Murphy wants her to make this phone call to change the room of this Homeland Security guy, played by Jas Gallia. I'm like, oh, I recognize that guy, Jas Gallia. He's been in a few other stuff. A few films I've reviewed for PM Entertainment, actually. I forgot he was in this. Because these guys want to assassinate this guy and tell her to move him and his family to this other room for where they will be killed. And if she doesn't, then he will make a phone call, and her dad, played by Brian Cox, Hannibal Lecter in the film Manhunter, he was in X-Men 2, he's been in a lot of stuff. An assassin will shoot her dad and kill Brian Cox's character. So then she has to figure out what to do next. She tries to leave a message, that gets stopped. Leave a message in the bathroom, that gets stopped. When I first saw it, I kind of went, man, I almost thought, what was the point of this? It just seemed very short. It almost wasn't a feature-length movie. It's like by the time, I mean, wait, they've landed now? Wait, now the movie's over? Watch it again. I actually feel differently. I think this is actually a decent film. Watch it again because, and that's one of the reasons, it doesn't overstuff itself. It's very straightforward, cat and mouse tale. Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy, I think both do a good job. I think they play off each other fairly well. This is definitely a movie I think that got better with age for me. I do think both actors do their jobs well. And Rachel McAdams does get to kick some ass. She does get to show us that her character is a fighter. And there's actually a reason for that, because she has these scars as from one point where something happened in a parking lot and she vowed it would never happen again. And yes, when you deal with films like this, there are always moments of convenience. Like, oh, how convenient. When she's supposed to make the phone call, oh, well, there just happens to be a storm. Oh, conveniently enough, she was able to grab a pen when she needed to in order to stab this guy in the neck. Oh, how convenient that the assassin she's looking for her dad, he just happens to be at the front door so she can easily see him, instead of being inside or having already killed her dad or whatever. So I guess it depends how you deal with the conveniences. In this case, I was fine with some, might be a bit more annoying. And then Rachel McAdams, I thought she's very pretty, but she also wasn't just a total damsel in distress or a useless individual. Cillian Murphy, I thought he worked good in both roles. He worked well as the charming, nice guy, and then as the cold-blooded killer. Just do what I say. And the way he tossed her, like, everything's gonna be okay. Just do what I say. Don't do anything stupid. And it is, short running time was rather refreshing in today's age where so many movies get overstuffed with a ton of bullshit. And this doesn't. Kind of like a movie that all the fat was taken out. I thought Wes Craven kept the pace going fairly well, and I wouldn't say I felt tension. I wouldn't say I felt suspense, to be fair. I guess for me, I would say a better version of this film would be Non-Stop with Liam Neeson when you deal with an airplane. I would say I prefer that over this because in a weird way, it didn't feel like much happened on the plane. And it's called Red Eye. It's a message gets stopped, a low attack in the bathroom. At one point, she gets headbutted, and hours go by because she's been knocked out. But yeah, it doesn't seem like a ton of stuff is happening. Only a handful of stuff. And thinking there's going to be much more on the plane and much more to deal with this, much more tension. I guess with the plane parts of the film, I expected more. And it's like, whoa, that's all that happened? Just seemed like only like 3 things happened. But watch it again, it's like, okay, I did deal with it. Try to be a bit more low-key of a movie. It's not a big over-the-top action film or anything. Until you get to the second half where, spoiler alert, she's able to call, able to, stabs Cillian Murphy in the neck with a pin, escapes the airport, steals a car, warns them, the family gets out of the way while the bad guys shoot a giant fucking missile, because apparently that was their best plan, was just to be outside the wall and just shoot a giant fucking missile into the room. I thought, well, someone came in and put like a bomb in there with a trigger. No, we don't go outside. Someone looks in on them and they had the fucking case on their fishing line down below on the fucking thing. So they just rise it up and they get the big old fuck off bazooka and they shoot the thing. I'm like, okay, guess that's the way to try to do it. She rams the car, killed this asshole assassin, and saves her dad. Killing Murphy gets there, is a bit of a cat and mouse. Cat and mouse, cat and mouse. She stops him. Brian Cox finishes the job. Father-daughter team. And then there's a fun moment because at the very end, because there's these customers at the beginning who are total and this is still spoilers. And they were giving this sweet girl so much shit. And so Richard McAdams at this point is like, fuck it, I'm not going to take shit from anybody anymore. And she says, you fill up a comic card, fill up that comic card, and shove it up your ass. Which I'm like, okay. That's a fun way to end the film. So yeah, watch it again. I didn't mind it. Did not mind it. Again, it's weird talking about the film because not a whole lot happens. I don't know if there was more stuff that was shot, it was cut out, or if it was always meant to be this short of a film. That's why I'm going to try to look up any trivia for this. Which is pretty basic, pretty straightforward. It's not a... Shut up. There's not a whole lot to talk about when dealing with this movie. Other than, it came out 2005. Rest in peace, Wes Craven. Definitely missed the guy quite a bit. The film was written for Sean Penn and Robin Wright. However, Wes Craven opted for the younger leads. That made sense. That worked out better. Sorry guys, I was not coughing this much before I started filming. Actors considered and rumored for the bad guy was people like John Travolta, Nick Cage, Kevin Bacon, Willem Dafoe, Michael Pitt, John Malkovich, Edward Norton, and Ray Liotta. Kevin Bacon would have been pretty interesting. Cillian Murphy did a good job though. Damn. Yeah, not much on the trivia pertaining to stuff missing, like footage cut out. Damn. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that, Scott. I would say the film... Sorry, I'm going to end the review short. I apologize. But I would say it's a film that... I say it's very short and straightforward. It's an hour and change. I mean, it can't be an hour and 15 minutes. That's with the end credits. So, on one hand, part of me is like, oh, it's kind of inconsequential because there's nothing too remotely memorable, but it's definitely serviceable. As opposed to other films dealing with planes like Passenger 57, Air Force One. Granted, those are more action films, but so I would put this sadly over Turbulence, which is a thriller on a plane. It's funny, like the first half seems like it's trying to be realistic, but then the second half is stab in the neck, steal the car, ram right up this assassin's ass, all that stuff. Bad guys, let's shoot a fucking bazooka from the water, blow it up the fucking thing. I'm like, that's the best plan you have? Holy shit. That's a shitty plan. But what more can I really say? Do the two leads do their jobs well? Yes, I do. I think Richard McAdams cheerful lady, maybe a little bit of workaholic. You know, she talks with her dad, Brian Cox, on the phone. Cillian Murphy, charming, but, you know, cold-blooded. His eyes do a lot of the acting. I mean, they're in a good way. Just technically, there's not a whole lot you can do on a plane. Well, that's not true. I've seen films like Nonstop do more, but it was small, it was efficient, it was fast-paced. It ended almost as soon as it began. It's not a film I rewatch a lot, because it's like, okay, well, that's kind of it, I guess. But I didn't watch. It was an easy, breezy watch. I'll give you that. So, it's part of that film in Wes Craven's filmography that he needed a box office hit, and he got it. People watched it. There's really nothing other than that assassination attempt. Really nothing else that really bothered me much. It just, the film was what it was. Hit some of the nice notes where she was able to get the comeuppance on these bad guys and able to turn the tables and fuck them up by either ramming a fucking truck up someone's ass or fucking up Cillian Murphy's character, smashing with shit. Strong female lead. Cillian Murphy did good. I mean, I'm just repeating the same things. It did the job it was supposed to do. Could it have done more? Yeah, I think so. Was it suspenseful? No, not really, but yeah, I didn't hate the film. Watch it. Did not hate the film Red Eye. I don't think it's a remarkable film. I don't think it's that memorable of a film, but it was fine. It was fine. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.